Hello students, welcome to our third session in our lesson EDU 220 English methods. During this session, we shall be looking at some important subheadings. My name remains Dr. Fuluke Fatimai, your facilitator. Some of these headings or subheadings we shall be looking at very briefly but in depth are teaching basic language skills, which we started last session. We shall continue with reading and writing and end with some language subskills. That is to say, we shall be looking at teaching reading, teaching writing, teaching vocabulary, and if time permits, teaching grammar. All these are important because we start with reading, which is key to success in academics and in life. And we shall also look at the other subheadings because all of them make a whole and are important to our students' communicative competence. Once again, welcome. Get ready to enjoy. Bye. Teaching reading skills. That's what we are starting with. Reading is an active receptive skill which entails comprehension and analysis of information presented in writing or print. It is an essential part of language mastery. However, a good definition on the term reading must incorporate the following essential or component features according to Snow 2016. These are: it must have word recognition, comprehension, reaction, fusion, rates, and utilization. What are the goals of teaching reading? You as a teacher should aim for your students to be able to comprehend text written in English when studying English as a subject and when studying other school subjects, as for example, mathematics. Your students should be able to read a wide range of text in English outside the classroom. Yet another goal is that your students should acquire a wide range of vocabulary, phrases, and grammatical structures which would facilitate reading. Again, your students should adapt a reading type appropriate to a given purpose of reading, and they should be able to read, to comprehend and recall main and detailed ideas, infer implied meanings, compare and contrast opinions, as well as evaluate opinions. We shall also discuss reading approaches and methods and include types of reading and factors that slow down reading as we go to the live session. and spelling and punctuation conventions. You should also use the correct forms of words. This may mean using forms that express the right tense, case, or gender. Put words together in correct word order and use vocabulary correctly. When you teach writing, you should teach your students so that they will be able to use the style appropriate to the genre and audience, and also make the main ideas distinct from supporting ideas or information. When you teach writing, you teach your students to make the text coherent so that people can follow the development of the ideas, and teach them to judge how much background information the audience has on the subject and make clear what it is assumed they do not know. What are the types of writing there are? As a way of reminder, we will remind ourselves about the types of writing we all know and the ones we do not know. First is narrative writing. A narrative tells a story or gives an account of events or incidents. The introduction of a narrative writing usually indicates time and setting and introduces the characters. The body is made up of a number of paragraphs, and this series of events contain the development of the plot. There are three basic types of narratives. We have personal narrative, biological narrative, and fictional narrative. We shall go in depth into this at the live session. Types of writing continue. We have talked about narrative. We're going to look at descriptive writing, argumentative writing, expository essay, letter writing, feature article writing, petition writing, and minute taking. So far so good. We have done with writing. We are now going on to teaching vocabulary. Vocabulary or lexis is words used in a particular language. Vocabulary is very crucial for a learner's language proficiency because it facilitates language production and fluency. Therefore, learners need to acquire a large amount of lexical items in order to use a language effectively. Learners need to understand about 88% of the words in a text in order to understand the main idea or guess the meaning of other words in the text using contextual clues. Many of the lexical items learners need to know are called chunks. What are the techniques used in vocabulary teaching? If you want to teach your students vocabulary, the techniques you can use include guided discovery, contextual guesswork, using dictionaries, and the use of synonyms and antonyms. We shall be going and looking into them and discussing further about them. Next, how are words formed in English? I know you know the answer, but I'll quickly tell you. Words are formed in English through affixation. We shall also be looking at that as we go along during the live session. Teaching grammar. How do you teach grammar? But before that, what is meant by grammar? Grammatical structures have played a central role in language teaching and learning. The general goal of any systematic instruction in any language is to enable learners of the language, particularly in a second language situation, to acquire knowledge of the structural patterns of the language. This is to facilitate communication. Grammar plays a definite role in language teaching. Grammar is to language what anatomy is to the human body. And since grammar is the means by which we can understand how a language works, a definitive study of grammar is essential in language study, second or foreign, whichever one it is. What are the methods of teaching grammar? We have the deductive method, the inductive method, and the eclectic method. Techniques of teaching grammar include substitution tables, dialogues, and pattern drills. Thank you very much. Have a good day.